What up? Man, that's exactly what that says. I look like I just woke up because I just woke up not too long ago. Supposed to have done it maybe like an hour ago. Started this. You know what? Who cares? The point is this: that's not a moral victory that I just accomplished or that I just went through, that I just felt, that I just achieved and experienced. And it's time that our people are told to look at life, or at least asked to look at life in a different aspect, in a different view, because sometimes they have this, I won't even call it make believe in their heads, but they have this belief in their minds that if they don't do certain things with their time, or they don't accrue a certain type of material, or a certain amount of a certain material substance, means or finances, that they have no victories, and that the other victories of people saying good things to them or doing whatever for them is a moral victory. But to be perfectly honest, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, there's no such thing. You're either alive or you're not. So there's no moral victories in being alive, right? I mean, like, can somebody with a sound mind other than myself see the point that I'm, trying to express here? Because when I hear people say things like, if it's not tangibly in front of you, don't worry about it. Well, that's awkward because, I know my brain is in my body and my heart is in my body and all that stuff is in me, right? And it operates on its own, but I can't see it, right? So what are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. Like, people have to get realistic and start saying things that are actualistic to life. We've been in a society where they have shock jockeyed us into submission of thinking that things that are abnormal are normal and things that are normal are abnormal. The case in point will be something like this: you tell a person that you can get a credit score up, and I know your credit is important to the means that you need it. But you know what, though? During a natural disaster, your credit score is not going to matter. I guarantee you that much is going to come into help and handy. It's not gonna. It's not gonna matter during a real natural disaster. It won't matter, right on. And that not moral victory of good credit won't matter. Is a good credit score just a moral victory until you need it? Right. See what I'm saying? It's popping, my brother. Hope all is well, man. And I hope that this message hits home, but at the same time helps lift a brother up, because we've been told for far too long that the fact that somebody would even acknowledge us is just a moral victory, and that we need to come to terms with those not victories, because they're only good for how we feel about morale, and morale is really how you feel, right? So on one end they'll tell you to not be emotional, then on the other end of the candle they're burning it and saying, right, that uh your morality or your morale is an important thing. It has to be. Troop morale is one of the most important structures and pillars in the military. If troop morale is high, no matter what the circumstances, you stand a very good chance of winning that conflict, or at least overcoming for that moment, in those moments, in that day. But if troop morale is low and you have, you know, exuberant supplies, and you have, an excess surplus of this and that, and you have the best equipment, it doesn't matter. You can still be beat. You can still be beat. Uh, During Desert Storm, a lot of people forget this, but Iraq had the world's fourth largest army at the time, and they had an air force. Right? People forget this. Like, people thought it was about to go the fuck down, but it didn't happen like that. Right. Because they were ill positioned. Morale was already low. You see what I'm saying? Because the American propaganda had turned the people against them. All kinds of stuff. It's deep. But back to the point though, I took a nap, right? And the reason why I went to sleep was to be blessed, because he's so great and amazing, the most high God, that he blessed me to see y'all, again, for a blessed time. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows that one more time is one more time. And that's not a moral victory. Right on? He knows that me waking up right now, there's nothing moralistic, morale about this other than me being alive. I'm like, yo, I love being alive though. It's the bomb. Ain't nothing else like it. So why do we have people who are, and this is deep now, a year in review? Think about all those people like Pele, soccer great, right? He was, I want to say he was like 82, 83, something like that. Uh he wasn't super duper old, but he was older. And he passed away today because his body stopped being receptive to the cancer treatment. And he gave up the ghost. Now, what's crazy about this is that Pele himself, I'm like, man, he's a great, right? All-time great to the people. Could be arguably the greatest footballer ever. Right. Wow. That's deep, right? But there's no moral victories in that. Now, see, now those kind of titles, it should be said, are not moralistic in victory. Or, I mean, they have no moral victories, or they're just a moral victory. Right. However you want to see it or perceive it, because I can't think for nobody. But if I'm saying from the line of view of that's just a moral victory, right? Him living to be tomorrow would be a greater blessing. Thank you. And when you ask these people who are at the ends of their lives if they would rather live longer or be, well known, man, they'd rather live longer every time. Like every time, bro. You and I both know it. And for all the brothers and sisters who are going to see this later, man, I just want them to know that, just like I want you to know, it's always going to be a blessing and an honor every day. Right on? This year has been so crazy that the year of the vigilante, one second, has has surprised me, you know, shocked me, and left me in complete awe. My uncle was being cared for by his wife, who was being paid by the state to do it. Word. And life was starting to get better for them. Fentanyl got him. My cousin just got out of prison, right? And this is just in the last couple months. Last year, like last July. And you know, he did some bad dope, some bad coke. Man, gone. You know, there are no moral victories in being, you know, uh, in whatever position you're in. I mean, because to me, that's just a moral victory, right? Until we're no longer here, then it don't matter. Right. Thank you. That's a moral victory. Substance. Thank you. Because that's for our morale. You know what I mean? That makes us feel better. Makes us feel good. Actually, man, I'm just saying, bro. It's like we've seen so many people get killed this year on the news. Shameful. In just some of the most crazy ways. People decide that, well, I'm gonna end my life really sad. That brother Twitch, right? Who just last week took his life. Think about this. He was supposed to be the DJ for Ellen DeGeneres. That moral victory, whatever that was, it wasn't enough to help that brother carry on. Word? Right. It's crazy. You got to be strong up here and in here and all around. You got to praise the Most High God every day, and just think about him and just say, man, he's so great. He lets me live while there's others who are gone. I mean, that's beyond any sort of moral victory, right? For the years of the vigilante, man, crazy year. And for all those guys who were criminals or whatever and had got away with it for a little while, were no moral victories, right? There are none in none of these places because people are getting at them. So, it's deep. But it's really not that complicated, though. It's simple. It's just hard for people to accept. Like every day we get older, right? Is that a moral victory, right? Twice a child, once a man, right? Something like that. You get what I mean? Right. So, is there a moral victory in getting old and becoming, like senile and decrepit? Right. Or is that just how it happens to some people? Right. I'm just saying it, brother. Because we're right now at a moment and mode in our lives where we have to start looking at life real serious. A lot of people don't take life serious. But this year was like, I was like, man, this year's crazy. Or I seen a lot of crazy things in my life, but I'm like, man, this year's going down. And dudes are talking about moral victories, right? Man, if you don't get to tomorrow, everything before that was a nothing burger. Do they realize that? It don't matter what happens afterwards, right? It can't. What's up, Wave? How you doing, brother? But being able to get up out your bed or off the ground or off a cot, right? Out of a couch, a chair, whatever, man, that's not a moral victory. Doing this is not a moral victory. Okay? It's not. It can't be. It's impossible. Because it's like you have to be able to do that. These guys talk like everybody's able bodied. Do they realize that some of their contributors are people who can't even move? Right. They're like bedridden, house ridden, in some cases where they can move about, but they really can't get outside their house like that. Right. They don't want to hear that. There's no such thing as a moral victory. Like in the aspects of how they put it, there's a such thing as having good morale, right? Or bad morale, in that sense. But moral victories don't exist. They're not real. That's a figment of somebody's imagination. Things are actually real or really actualistic. However you want to put it. Really actually happening, right? Actually, that really happened. Yes. You feel me? So they don't get it though. There's no such thing as an actual moral victory. That's a make believe concept. Right. Me talking right now is a blessing. Nobody's guaranteed to make it. Why do they act like we are? See, they have a sense of wanting us to believe what they say is all that matters. Man, the year in review made me, not scared, but it made me realize what's about to happen. Coming soon to a theater near all of us. Thought crimes are about to hit the market. Excuse me. Bless me, Father God. Hallelujah. Yep. Thought crimes. They're coming soon because you have people who call themselves thought leaders. Okay. Well, soon, if you align yourself with a certain way of thought, you're going to be dangerous. You feel me? Right. They're going to start attacking people based on what they think and believe. That's what this made me realize. See, the vigilante did so much this year, went too hard, right? Check this out. You had some guy in New York, this is just recently too, went off and killed like 4 or 5 people with a knife, right? Stabbed like 3 or 4 more. And what's crazy is he should have never been on the streets. This guy should have been somewhere being rehabbed, being able to be put in positions where they would have tested to see if he was fit to be back in society. Right. Because you can't fake it if you get angry. Right. Once they see that change in you, of course, bro. Of course. Exactly. Right. Right. And that's that alley oop from half court. You feel me? Where he lobbed it up. And bro came out of nowhere from the corner and just yams it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's one of them. So most people won't see it coming. Yep. It's one of them. And damn. Man, that made me think. That's crazy. He called it an alley oop. See, that is what it is, though. Yeah. Because now it's gonna be like they're gonna start using this metadata to connect people who, let's say, like those guys who are all like B1, right? And I'm not knocking B1 people. Check this out. If one of them goes somewhere, kills somebody, gets into a violent altercation, whatever, that's gonna be recorded. Now everybody under that same umbrella, boom, all being watched. Just like that. It takes one time. You feel me? It takes one time. And that's it. It's over. They don't realize that. It takes one time. That's it. And they're just blessed and they're fortunate, but they don't say, oh, well, man, God is blessing me. Word? Nope. They hate. They hate for no reason. I just feel like it's like, man, it's unfortunate that they would even put themselves in that position as opposed to just being supportive. You did? No love. They don't understand how much power they have. And they're leading the people to the slaughter. Guy went out. It's like, what happens when the next person to make one of these headlines has been listening to the doctrine of these dudes, and he's a felon, something like that, then changed his life. Now he's a truck driver or IT guy, but one day he just snaps, right? And the last video he's hearing is like, you know, there's a race war coming, right? Because they keep talking about this shit, but they don't realize that rhetoric is gonna get them all killed. I'm not wishing nothing bad on them. I'm telling y'all what's gonna happen. It's coming. It's all being set up. It's nasty right now. It's all being set up. Imagine this. They've been fortunate enough to not find out if some of the people who've been killed in the hood or been doing the killing are listening to these dudes every day or whenever they drop a message. You got a nigga who just went and caught fresh off of catching a body, listening to these niggas. Like, yeah, black empowerment, they right. And you just smoked a brother. And you feel like what you did to him now, because they give justification, oh, for the whatever crowd of the people. And these niggas like, yeah, I just killed one of those type of dudes. So they justifying this weak shit, not realizing like, bruh, they're using this metadata against all y'all. They're putting it together and they're going to find out who the most real threats are. This is what they've been doing with all these federal cases. They've been telling people, man, they still locking up, rounding up 50 to 100 people at a time. I see these articles. It happens way more than y'all think. I'm like, yo, that's a lot of people to be arresting at once. Word? 50 people? 100 people? In one hit? Man, that has to devastate a local economy. It has to, unless you live in like a major size city. But that immediate persons and people who are relying upon them to spend their money, right, or as a means to make money, it's over. These guys don't realize it takes one major incident, just one. That Frank James guy, remember him? The guy who shot up the subway and managed to not kill nobody? Him. Uh he. What if he had been caught up listening to all that stuff? It's over. Now they tried to link him to people loosely, but I'm talking about like, but what if they had been able to prove like, nah, man, this dude's whole manifesto was B1, B1, B1. Right on? He got specific clips recorded where he's like, listen to these guys talking about a race war and doing this and doing that, and we have to be prepared to do this. Listen, man, this guy, Professor Schmuckatelli, I feel for him because he don't realize it's not a big deal until somebody actually does something that they're not supposed to do in the name of what you believe is so-called black empowerment. Right. Okay. What happens when the is it the Southern Law Poverty Center? Whatever, you know, something like that. Anyway, them guys down there were, if they decide to say, like, hey, look, man, these dudes is hella racist. And they're possible militant uh fucking domestic terrorist. It's over. Their whole march to reparations is done. These niggas better calm the fuck down. Talking about you better keep power tools. You never know when there's gonna be some trash that needs to be blown away, right on, or some leaves that need to be blown away, or a tree that needs to be cut down. It's like, bro, it's like, okay, dude, okay. You marching the people into a death trap. And I really can't salute that shit, and I can't, I can't fuck with that. That's not a, once again though, these dudes don't realize the way that they're acting. We'll see how much of a moral victory it was or is when they don't wake up. And I'm not wishing nothing on nobody. I'm just saying, like, yo, y'all keep moving like that, and you're gonna get somebody killed. That's the way it is. We're in tumultuous times. Go ahead. Let these dudes mess up. Let them. Let them start talking sideways and crooked about things that they don't realize. It's going to get them hurt. We all know it. They won't tell these dudes right now, hey, bro, I guess it's just a moral victory that you're able to sell dope to your own people. But the moment that somebody gets tired of it, or the moment that one of these young dudes or old niggas who has the gumption to actually put that pistol on you is like, yeah, man, I'm taking all that. And if you decide to fight back, nigga, they ready to extinguish you. Right. Think about that. This is real. This really happens to people every day. And these dudes don't realize. I guess that's you don't they don't they don't realize what they have until it's gone. You know what I mean? That saying is true, and especially when it comes to one's life. If I lose my life, everything I've worked for up until this point, it'll all account for nothing if I don't get to the climax and the apex of what it is I'm supposed to do. But these guys have put themselves in a position where they don't have to abide by the normal rules anymore. Do y'all remember like back in the day where if you said something and people did it, you could be held accountable? Do y'all remember those kind of days? Like, because I remember when I was a little boy growing up, if somebody told me to do something and they were older than me, right? And they weren't an adult, but they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were up to. Because you might have just got told, hey, go pick up all those rocks or go pick up all those pine cones, right? And then all of a sudden, somebody throwing rocks at people or pine cones at each other or whatever, whatever, whatever. Somebody get hurt. Now, now people's parents want to know, well, why was y'all doing this in the first place? And we like, yo, well, he told us to get all the stuff together. Now he's the eldest. Now she like, come here. See, now she said, now I'd have hurt you because my baby got hurt, or however it all goes. But you know how people play those types of things out. You know, we was like that growing up. You know, it wasn't nothing to have a rock fight or a pine cone fight for a long time. You know, until obviously throwing rocks got super duper dangerous because people, you know, they get emotional when they get bing bopped. It's dangerous anyway, but that's just the kind of life that you live when you're little, you know, thugging it out. Anyhow, so people don't know. One of these days, they'll understand. No point in my life has ever been a moral victory. Right. Like I said, it's waking up and living to the next day. There's nothing morale like about that. It's either you do or you don't. You either get here or you didn't. You know, may the Most High God bless Brother Pele, right, in this transition into the great, terrible, magical, wonderful day. It's going to be the greatest day ever. But until that day, may he rest. And I'm sure, like I said, he'd want just one more day, man. There's no way. There's no way he wouldn't want just one more day. And then each day he would want just one more day. Unless he expressly said, I want to leave because I'm in just so much pain. But when it's like that, people let you know. It's just sad though. It's like that young brother, Ronnie Hillman. He's my age. My brother was 31 years old, y'all. A rare liver cancer took him out. Man, I knew something was wrong when they said that they had to move him to a certain kind of care. I said, uh-oh, it ain't good. And then the next day he had passed away. I said, man, Super Bowl winner. Went to two different Super Bowls. Right. Gone. Uh, I want to say earlier this year, that brother Demarius Thomas passed away. Man, there's been so many brothers, young brothers, man, who've been leaving the earth and transitioning far too early, far too soon. And you know, if you're really not Pele's age, man, it's far too soon. Because even 82 was hella young, man. If you've been taking care of yourself and you've been living kind of right, you know, and God is just gonna bless you, man. A person who's 100, you know, shout out to brother Andre, man. Man, his grandmother, man, 105, man. Salute, man, to her, man. Okay. Ain't no moral victories in that, baby. Okay, that's 105 stamped out all on this earth. Huh? Come on. Ain't no moral victory about that. They better quit playing with your boy with the see once again, man. They gonna say anything to get the people to do some stupid shit. Who don't want to make it to 105? Still making their own bed and in their right mind. Oh yeah. I I would love to get there. That'd be dope. But if I gotta settle for a cheeseburger and a grape soda, okay, I'll live with that too. Yeah, bro. A buck oh five, ain't that something? Man, kicking it, baby. Oh yeah. I loves it. That's the blessing of blessings. Right on. And and compared to her, Pele would have been, a considerably young man. Right on. At 82 or 83. Right. Right. She's old enough to have had somebody like that. Right. That's her child. Come on, man. They don't hear me, man. Ain't no moral victories in waking up. They don't exist. It's not real. They just want us to think that's a moral victory. But then that means that they believe that we're supposed to see the next day. Then that means that tomorrow is actually promised until it's not. And then that means that everything that they say about not believing in the Most High God or what's tangible is a whole load of horseshite. Do you follow my whole thought pattern? Let me repeat myself. So if you have a situation where somebody's saying this is not a physical, tangible thing, don't worry about it. Right on, you pretty much don't have to honor it. It's not real to you. Okay, but tomorrow is not here. Right on. I haven't made it till tomorrow yet. Can you feel me? Do they understand that part? They don't get that part, do they? I have not made it to tomorrow yet. Right. Right. So how they gonna try to put me in that kind of position? Or you or anybody else? And for them to say that because it's not a tangible thing, tomorrow is not tangible. The next day is not a physical, tangible thing. Do they understand that? Do they understand that? The revolution of the sun and the moon in the earth's atmosphere, okay, though they are physical, tangible themselves, those are not physical, tangible things. You cannot capture the day in a jar, nor can you capture the night in a jar. Can you feel me? The next day is not tangible, but yet they would ask you to do things to act as if you're for sure going to get to tomorrow. So either these guys believe in the Most High God, or they believe what they're saying is a whole load of horseshit and they know it, or they don't understand what they're saying. Do y'all follow me? Do y'all see how deep that is? I can't physically see tomorrow, but I believe in the Most High God. It's different. I'm fueled and powered by a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna show y'all my way of looking at it versus their way. I believe in the Most High God. I believe that He put me on this earth to not just die out of nowhere, but to bless me, that I would be a blessing in other people's lives. That way, that they could continue to bless me. Right. Y'all bless me by being able to somewhat bless you with a little bit of information that I get. This video was thought about last night. I was going to do it in the heat of the moment. I was like, nah, let me give it a day, let it percolate. I could not know that a soccer great was going to give up the ghost, but that added a little flavor to what I'm saying. Right. There's no guarantees. And because I know that the Most High God, but that's an elder man who had a sickness and an illness, right? I know that the Most High God wants me to see tomorrow. And He wants me to do the right things to live, to live to see it. Right. So why would I sabotage myself by not believing that I'm going to see tomorrow? I have to believe that. But I believe in Him undoubtedly. So when tomorrow comes, and tomorrow will come with or without me, but I pray that I'm with tomorrow. Right. That's that simple. It's not complicated. That's what these guys don't understand. But in their minds, give me all your money, donate, donate, donate. But homie, I'm not even guaranteed to live to see tomorrow based on what you're saying. They talk all this shit about how much money people making or don't make, or if you can get a credit score to this high or whatever. There's no guarantee that they're going to be able to be around long enough to make that happen based on how these guys think. Right? Tomorrow is not a tangible physical thing. Right. The same way I can hold this glass of wine up here, right? You see what I'm saying? That's tangible. I can hold that. That's physical, right? But I can't pour the day into the glass, like, or the night right now. I can't go get a chunk of night, literally just grab it out the air and just put it in the glass. That's not how it works. These guys have magical thinking. These dudes really, it's funny how they will say the end of magical thinking, but the way they think is magical. And they don't even realize it. That's how I know these cats have been stricken with insanity, madness, and astonishment of the mind. I know it. I know it. I know they have. These dudes are straight up crazy. They can say I'm crazy, but I'm like, listening to them, I'm like, no, nigga, you're really crazy, homie. I'm in touch with my soul, right? With my spirit, with my mind, and my heart and my body and all that, right? I'm in touch with the people. I understand that folks want to see things, but are they ready to see things? It's going to be beyond what they, once again, is that going to satisfy them to see what they've always wanted to see? Is that a moral victory to see what you always wanted to see? I hope not. Because getting to the next day is not, once again, that's not a moral victory. There's nothing moralistic about it. It's a blessing and an honor. And it should be seen as that. It shouldn't be looked at as, huh, poof. God has to keep putting, air in my lungs, spark in my heart, thought in my mind. What? Strength in my body and in my being. Power. What? That's guaranteed. That's crazy. But that's how these people are thinking. This is what you're up against. And they got people out here who all it takes is for them to get released. I'm just waiting. Somebody's going to get released from one of these jails, okay? Listening to these crazy ass dudes. Man. And it's going to put everybody who is in that metadata algorithm in immediate harm's way. And it won't happen to them that day, but we won't be able to tie it all together. Because a lot of people a lot of people don't use their actual names, on the internet. They'll use an alias, right? Which that's fine. But the thing is that the metadata, people won't know what they're seeing on the news when they see the different stories. It'll just look like it's a whole bunch of random acts of whatever, but it's going to be something coordinated. Trust me, y'all, this government is insidious, wickedly evil. Mhm. You don't think they know how many black people own guns right now legally in this country? No, really. Do you guys think they don't know I'm talking about to the exact T. How many legal black gun owners there? They're not worried about the poop butts who ain't supposed to have one. Right. They know how many legal ones who are. Whole bunch of those people are B1. Let me repeat myself. I can guarantee you that somewhere is a dossier. I'm not going to speak on the agency who has it or the agencies. No need to put myself in harm's way like that. But I'm going to say it like this. I can guarantee you they know to the exact jot and tittle how many black people legally have guns registered to their name and can legally own and possess firearms. They know the exact number. I bet you to another jot in that same dossier somewhere, to the same jot and tittle. This is all metadata. This shit comes in as they need it, which is every fucking moment. Same jot and tittle. Guarantee y'all. They know the exact number of these dudes who identify as so-called B1 on the internet through their profiles. Oh, this is getting deep now. This shit sounding scary and scientific, but this shit is real. They know to the jot and tittle who they have to come after already. There is no moral victories in waking up, brothers and sisters. Not a one, zero. What happens when they come knocking on people's door, kicking their doors in the middle of the night, shooting them and their children, the dog too? Everybody can get it. Right. What the fuck? These dudes don't even understand the danger they're in. I'm like, I can't be the only one who knows this or understands this, but I'm gonna speak it out loud so that way these guys understand. Yo, bro, they know already who you are. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, there are 41, 42 million black people in America. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, uh, what is it? Let's just say 2 million black people all over the US legally have guns registered to them. 2 million, right? That's a fair number. That's not too high, it's not too low. Because a lot of black people don't own firearms, believe it or not. A lot of black people do not own guns. A lot of the guys who get killed in the streets didn't have a gun. Like, wow, hard to believe, huh? A lot of those guys that get killed in the streets do not have a gun. Most times they don't. We see the scribe mentioned it before, the sheep. I I I can believe that, bro. But this stuff is coming down from the highest levels or the lowest levels, depending on how you perceive, their power structure, right? Because they're evil, bro. These, if there's 2 million black people who have guns, that's a small army's worth of people. That's a large army, but it's a small army compared to the hundreds of millions. You know, the there's probably, if there's 350 million people in America right now, there's probably 400 million guns floating around. There's a gun for every person for sure, but there's probably almost 200 million, probably 150 to 200 million people who are registered to have a gun. I mean, a bunch of people are legally registered to have firearms, like a bunch who are not black people. Surprise, surprise. Now I need y'all to start understanding this. Are these B1 people so on code? What the hell is going on out there? Okay, see, okay, now check this out. People don't get it, man. Iraq received over 22,000 applications to do what, brother? Shit is crazy. See, but that's what I'm saying though. That small army of people is nothing compared to the people, right, who are able to overwhelm them already with far greater firepower, way more people. It's not even a fight. Word? It's a skirmish. It'd be a long drawn out skirmish. That's it. That shit is crazy, dude. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, like 22,000 people. I mean, do they realize how many people that is? Word? But do they realize how many more still don't have a gun? Think about that. Who are like, I don't need one of those to live my life. And that's a powerful way in one town. In one town? Damn. Nigga, that's crazy. See, and this is what I'm talking about, though. It's shit like this. Do these guys understand? Right. Now, if you can tell me that, If you can bring that out, don't you think that there's a dossier somewhere that knows exactly how many niggas have guns? Huh? How many of these niggas identify with being black first? How many of them think that Farrakhan is honorable? How many of them think that the Messiah or the Christ has to be a black man? All this other stuff, black Hebrew Israelites. Oh man. But still, just imagine if everybody in your town all of a sudden was like, man, we all need gun applications. They're just flooded the whole damn thing. Bro, that's crazy, bro. 22,000 people. Yeah, man. Last month, something like that happened right in front of my apartments too, man. Right across, like literally right across the street from where I stay, man. Uh, dude had just got out of prison. It had to have been a setup though, because they knew exactly where to find him. Or they was either it was either a setup or they had been tailing his ass all day and just waiting for their opportunity. But probably more the latter than the. I don't know if anybody truly set him up or if they just tailed him. Because it's easy if somebody gets wind of you or finds out through somebody else where you at, all they got to do is follow you, all day. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. Of course they want to see the cameras. See, but I'm not gonna say that's why I don't have cameras, because I'm not saying I don't believe in them, but it's just like for shit like that, that's one of the reasons why I'm always skeptical about having cameras, because they feel like they have some sort of legal authority. Nah, man, you're gonna need to get a subpoena, bruh. I'll get copies made of all that shit, but you're gonna need a subpoena. But yeah, man, they killed a brother, man, and they fucking critically injured another dude, fucked him up too. But the one dude that just got out of prison like 8 days or something like that before that, hadn't even been out that long. And he had been locked up for motherfucking like 17 years or some shit, possibly for killing somebody else's kinfolk. And that was just how that shit comes around. But once again, that dude was in prison for 17 years. And for however crazy he thought it was in prison, he got out and 8 days later and he's no longer waking up. Think about that. Mull that over. Was getting released from prison a moral victory? That's a rhetorical question. Man, this is deep. See, but this is the kind of stuff that people they don't discuss it, because now we're talking intellectual talk, and we're not. This ain't psychobabble. This is not crazy. For me to say that they know how many black people identify a specific way just through the metadata alone. They know who is who. They know who has. Listen, there's a reason why the Postal Service is funded largely by the federal government. Right on. There's a reason why the feds will get involved and put some money up and do what they have to do. The reason being is because they've been spying on people for forever. They want to know who everybody is. If there's anything at play with this individual involved in it, no matter how minute their involvement may be or their presence may be, it doesn't matter, because the FBI is the master, the grandmaster of setting you up and framing you and making you look like you were up to something that you weren't even up to. That's how they got King. They set King up like that. The same people that King was supposed to have been dealing with, that were supposed to have been Marxist communists, were a whole lot of the time were FBI agents. A lot of the money that they were supposed to have been given to these damn Marxist communists was money directly from the FBI. The FBI actually set it up and framed it up and made it to look that way. These people don't even know that. I bet you people don't even know that. They talk all this shit they want to talk. The FBI released these documents. Okay, they released it and told the fucking truth and was like, yeah, we did some faulty ass shit, but who gives a fuck? They didn't say it like that, but let me break it down. We get right to the nitty gritty. That's what happened. So these dudes can't tell me, man, that if they was able to do that to King, right on, damn near 60 years ago, how right? If they could do that to King damn near 60 years ago, why does anyone want me to believe that they don't have dossiers on all these black people right now? Every last one of us. I didn't say they didn't have a dossier on me or that I'm, but the dossier they got for me is different because how I operate is different. I I don't draw my line in the sand with a bunch of these crazy ideas. This is where we separate, homie. Right on. No, you got to draw your line in the sand somewhere. You have to have boundaries. It's the only way that you can establish what it is that you believe in. You know, everybody's on a dossier. And I'm not saying that to make people concerned or scared, but I'm just like, you got to start being real with yourself. Like, what's tangible is what you can actually physically hold, but what value does that really have if you're not alive? None. None. Word? These dudes don't even realize, like, they won't be the first ones. The so-called thought leaders would not be the first people that they would get. What they would do, this is deep now, they would attack some of their greatest contributors, either financially or physically. This is the straight up truth. They would do this. These dudes talking about a tinfoil kufi. Okay, nigga, tinfoil kufi this. What's popping, my brother? You know? Hope all is well, man. Drink some of that good old wine real quick. But yeah, they want us to think that want us to think that because they don't say what I'm saying right now outright, that it makes them any less of a threat. They're gonna attack these guys' greatest financial contributions. Hit them where it hurts first, their pockets. Oh man, yeah, I got me a little cheap little bottle of Barefoot. You know what I'm saying? Nothing special, but something just good enough to get the job done. You know how we do, brother. No, yeah. But I've been taking it easy on the beers lately. I just been, I'm good on that for a little while. Back on my wine phase for a little bit. You know how we do. You know how we do. Just got to change it up from time to time. But no, man. Once they hit them people's pockets up, then what they're gonna do is attack the people that are the greatest threat physically, who would actually ride for these guys. So they might not have a lot of money, but this dude will hop in his truck or his car and load up his duffel bag full of guns and ammo and drive out and make this shit pop off like it's a 1980s action flick. Like it's a 1970s action flick. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When the dude make the phone call to the one friend and he's Bert, I need you, or Vern, I need you, whoever it is, right? You know what I'm saying? Roger, whoever, right? We need you, man. It's always a dude named Jeff or something like that, Dave or whatever, but y'all know what I mean. And he's showing up, man, with a state of the art something. He ready to tear a new hole in something, okay? The earth, if you let him, he's not playing. We all know I ain't lying. They're going to hit these dudes down, knock these dudes down strategically like dominoes. We all know how this goes. And they won't even think that's what's happening when it's happening. Because it's going to be them slowly, it's going to be them putting the frog in the pot and slowly turning up the heat on them. There's no tinfoil kufi here. Yeah, man. Yeah, let me refurbish my cup, okay? Yeah, man. But yeah, bro, this shit is real, bro. And they don't want us to think that this is what's really gonna go down. They don't think that there is somebody who's tallying these things up and is saying who comes to whoever the director is of domestic threat analysis, Division 1 or Division 2, whatever, right? Sector 5, all that shit. Yeah. When the head honcho come down and is like, what you got for me today? And they're like, actually, this person right here who is making $400,000-$500,000 a year, who's a major contributor to these 5 and 6, they contribute thousands of dollars yearly to these different individuals and their causes. If we can disrupt their finances, they'll greatly mitigate what they're able to do for these people. It's just a small knock for right now, but there's these other 8 people who are contributing to all these same individuals. Sir, if we take them all out of circulation somehow, that's going to hurt all of them greatly. Boom, just like that. They know what to do. Right. They know what to do. I'm not giving the FBI or nobody no marching orders. They already been working on this shit. I'm saying, like, this is what's happening. There's no moral victories in waking up. Okay. This is not a moral victory. I guess it is a moral victory, right? It's for my morale. It makes me feel better. But in the truth, it's a drink. Right. I needed that, man. It's just been a long day. Got a lot weighing on my mind and my soul. And I do my best to not let this shit weigh me down. But we all know that we're in man, we are in dangerous times. These are the waters we're in are untested. Thought crimes coming soon to a block near everyone. There are already kind of like thought crimes. There's things that they try to do that are like thought crimes, where they try to say, well, his ideology is a threat to society and la di da. Guys who they were calling incels, right? Involuntary celibates. Okay. They say that these dudes look at life a certain kind of way, right? And therefore, the way that they see life is an extremist view. Them type of dudes have to get snatched up. Now, what's funny is a lot of the shootings that went down this year, the vigilant style shootings, that wasn't no incel stuff. These dudes popping off out of nowhere wasn't no incel stuff. They couldn't throw that right there around. Them dudes who are considered calling themselves that got their act together. They said, whoa, 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 whoa. We're this, but we're not that crazy that we're about to go do that. Nah, they're like, don't put that label on us. And I laugh because I can dig where they're coming from. Now, having said that, Black people still haven't learned. You know, it wasn't that long ago, it's just a couple years ago, and people forget about this. Remember when that brother and that sister went over there to that supermarket? I want to say it was either in Jersey or Philly, and they had to shoot out with the police and shit like that, killed a couple people. It went down. It went down. It went all the way down. Okay? 2 people set it off, right? Now here's the thing. If you don't think that the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites were not put on notice when that happened, you don't think the head honcho leaders of those dudes didn't get calls from the FBI or whoever and tugged their coattails and said, "Hey, y'all need to watch what you're spewing out here. You need to watch your rhetoric, is because these people did this, this, and this, and if somebody does this right here again, we're gonna have to call you guys in and question you, right on, because you're too close. Your ideology is too close to the matter at hand." This is why these cats who don't show their faces haven't shown their faces. They think they're so smart, but there's people who know what they look like. Right. Now follow me on this one. The dude will let a racist ass white dude who had a compound that the nigga could have possibly look. They could have snatched this nigga up, fed his ass to the hogs. Nobody, we wouldn't know who to look for. Hey, these dudes are that retarded. Oh, he's a billionaire white guy. Why wouldn't I show my face to him? Bitch ass nigga. That's what a hoe ass nigga would do. But that's the kind of stuff we have to put up with. Right. These guys who were dibbling dabbling, you know what I mean? And on one end of the spectrum, they telling people to be militant. On the other end of the spectrum, they telling people we need to get reparations. You're not going to get yours being militant. You can't You cannot tell me that a force that is far greater than you, superior to you, that has nuclear armament, you're going to do anything to them. You can't do nothing to them. Please. That's a pipe dream. That's not even a pipe dream. It's not even a dream. It's like a it's like a moment in the imagination. It can't even be the whole imagination because that just be too grandiose. These guys are tripping. They're gonna get people killed. And will it be a moral victory for them when they wake up and the other people don't? Mm. Will it be a moral victory that they're alive and well, it's the right? Or will they feel shame? I don't know. I cannot tell you what's going to happen with their feelings, but I do know this: just like the year of the vigilante popped off, you're going. We've been seeing brothers and sisters fall like flies. They gonna ramp this shit up very soon. They have no choice. They have no choice. People aren't getting with the program. Suffice it to say, mm, they go right. How hard is it for people to imagine a person who's a contributor who makes, I don't know, let's just say a person's only making 50 grand a year, right? You know, which is a little more than what I make, right? You know what I mean? By a little more, we're talking like, 8, 10 grand, something like that. But still, follow me. Somebody who's making that kind of money, at least that kind of money. And they're able to, I don't know, let's say every year annually, they're donating 2 grand. Man, the FBI is so cold. These dudes are so vicious. The NSA and all these dudes, the DIA and all them dudes are so wicked. And the little subdivisions of groups that are put together by Homeland Security, man, listen, shit is crazy. Okay, they will have a motherfucker like that getting caught up or put them in a very precarious situation where they could lose their life. People are like me, they're not doing all that. They have nothing but time on their hands to do this shit. They pay these guys to do these things. You got cats out here who are really encouraging folks, like, yeah, you need to carry around your power tool. Do these guys realize they already know that you have a gun? When the real enemy runs up on you, they already know you got a gun. This shit is crazy. And we're at the point where it's like, yo, when they start attacking people, nobody, unless we're all actively looking for it, like it's gonna take way more than me. It's gonna take like 100 people to be vigilant to watch the news to try to put some of these instances together. Because we're gonna have to see it and actually analyze it as it starts to unfold in real time happening. Because the writing's on the wall, man. I don't know how else to say it. It's crazy. Dude, when anytime somebody's talking about the end of magical thinking and they start talking about moral victories and symbolic gestures, I know that they're really not in touch with actuality. That they need to make it to the very next day. You have to get to the next moment to get to the next day. I mean, how many moments are in one day? I don't know. It's probably way more than we could actually count to. I'm talking about true real life moments. And that, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, everybody that's with me tonight, everybody's going to be with me later on when they catch us. That is the crux of the matter. We're stuck in a place where even if we leave here, we're in not very much of a different situation no matter where we go. Think about it. Brother Andre said something to me that was so enlightening because, he done lived in all these different states. So he was like, bro, he's like, people who live in predominantly black cities or where there's a heavy black presence, they forget what it's like to be a real minority. Like they understand the term and they get it, But for a person like me, where I don't live around a bunch of black people, live around a bunch of non-black people. They all might not be white, but they're all not niggas. And so when that's the case, they don't understand. I'm a real minority. I'm a literal, actual minority. For real, for real. And right. You get what I'm saying? So these dudes have a false sense of security. I don't operate in that. You know, black people who ever been somewhere that's not a like an actual black state. Like if you get out the south and go anywhere to the north, in the northeast, not listen, not naming cities in the states, but the actual states themselves are predominantly white. Right. That's just the way it is. So, Polinsky, Struvovich, right? Stein, Jones, Smith, Brown. Those are all names that I'm just naming that are all associated with white folks too. And so when you start to look at it, you're like, damn, there's a bunch of these motherfuckers everywhere. Now there's us. Now we are in numbers, but we're in numbers in specific areas. You don't think they know who have all the guns? Come on, man. They got everybody sequestered, and you don't think they know who have the guns and who don't. Just like you don't think they have a list of suspected drug dealers, suspected arms dealers, suspected killers, and all that. You don't think? Huh? Like, I know we all think that here, but do they not believe that? What's so magical about that kind of thinking? Now, once again, if you've been fortunate enough and blessed to have the people to front your every endeavor for almost a decade now, and they've given you tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, what becomes problematic, what becomes, I won't even say scary, but what becomes concerning is the fact that they don't realize and see, like, yo, dude, you're on a dossier somewhere. Unless these guys are agents, listen. Unless you're telling me that some of these dudes who are popping up are really agents, right? They're on a dossier too. That's not no tin foil kufi talking. That's the straight up truth. These niggas think there's okay, so nobody really knows what you look like. So when something happens to you, nobody's gonna know where to start, players. That's what these guys don't understand. Right. It's not beyond the US government to pull up with a black van and at gunpoint and make you get in that motherfucker. And okay, so yeah, you say you keep a power tool. Reach for it if you want to, and they'll extinguish you right then and there. Right. And it won't look like professional hitmen because dudes will be dressed like fucking some little punk ass motherfucker on the streets. They'll be dressed all the way down, but they'll be a serious, real killer, all the way a killer. Right. Black SUV, whatever. It's gonna be some type of larger vehicle. It ain't gonna be no sedan unless it's a nice sedan. I'm telling you. Look, this ain't no movie. This ain't no movie. Right. Yeah, they better start. They better put it into their magical thinking that just because you got a gun that you can defend yourself against any and everybody. They better stop thinking like that's magical thinking. Nigga, I'm practical, pragmatic. I'm not doing none of that. You do not draw a gun. You do not try to draw your gun. Right on. If the weapon's already drawn on you, for whatever reason, unless it's a for sure life or death situation where it's your worst enemy ever and they happen to catch you, sure, do or die. But if this is an entity that you're not sure about and they're like, come with us or give it all up or whatever, see, this what I'm talking about. This ain't happened to these dudes, and they live their life with Grubhub and Uber Eats. These dudes are able to not have to go anywhere unless they choose to go there. but they're using your money to go see big booty strippers and shit like that. I'm not saying you guys in particular, but I'm saying the people who are going to hear this that this actually applies to. They're using your money, player. Yeah, yeah, sister, you didn't know? He don't want to be with you. He want to go get some of that young. And they don't want to hear that. That's the real. Whoa. But if I tell the truth, I don't even attempt to shame the devil. They still get upset because this is not a hit back at what they said that was supposed to be a hit to what I said. I heard a dude pretty much try to go at what I was talking about, from my last hit. And dude was saying how, everybody can't own a business and this, and this. And I'm like, damn. He just tried to discourage people from he would rather you have a 750 credit score than you own your own business. I'd rather you have a no credit score and have your own business and make money. Wow. Wow. You can have a bank account that has some kind of money in it, but you keep your money in the built-in safe, right on. You know what I'm saying? The one that's built into the wall, anchored into the wall, right? It's not even biometric scan. It's just an old school ass safe where nigga, you got to come in here with a drill and some extra shit to get in this motherfucker to steal it. You're going to have to sawzall this motherfucker out the wall. You're going to have a plasma torch to motherfucking cut these reinforced beams off this. I'm talking about you're going to have to really take this bitch. Yeah. See what I'm saying? But they don't move like that. So they ain't got to worry about that. Number one. Number two, the idea that they believe that these guys are just going to show up and just be like, I'm the FBI. We want you to tell us every little bit that you know about your organization and the people who are in it that are questionable characters. Who are these niggas? Magical thinking? Huh? What? Can't own my own business? Nigga, you better have your own everything. You are the business. Like, when is everybody gonna come to the same conclusions and just stop playing games? You are a business. I am a business. My physical persons is a business. I'm in the business of doing business with other businesses. That's how real business actually works. Right. A servant is a business. The role of a servant is a business, and the person who is carrying out the role of the servant is an actual business themselves. Everybody can't do the same kind of work, even when they have the same jobs. We all know what I'm talking about. We've all had a job where you got there and people were, I won't say better than you, but they just had more of a feel for the job than you did. Then once you started to get your feet wet, they've been here for years. You've been here for a few weeks, a couple months, and you already starting to have the same level of understanding that they do, but they don't realize, or maybe they do realize. You see what I'm saying? You are a business. I am a business already. We're not treated like that as people, but that's the society that we live in. But the actualistic, pragmatic way of seeing it is that, yes, indeed, we are all a business. Every single person is a business. There's no way that they're not. Right. It's that sort of thing. There's no way that it's not. Right. When you do the job that you do the job that you do as a personal business, whether you see it like that or not. Just because you don't have your own what's it called, a UBI number or something like that, right? Just because you don't have that, right? Your little business code, your little business, just because you don't have that personally doesn't mean that you are not a business. You are one. So to own a business that you are actually going to provide a specific service that the business that you are as a person is now going to provide that service through this medium. Come on. Most people have multiple most people, I'm speaking on brothers and sisters. I can't talk about other races, but the people who I know that we are in this land, right on, most people have multiple talents, more than one, for sure, more than one talent. Right. But they cash in on the one that is either going to get them paid the most money or bring them the most satisfaction. Sometimes they're fortunate enough that it's both. It's one and the same. This is what brings me the most satisfaction, and I get the most provender from it. Excellent. Excellent. Now, that being said, it's not a moral victory when you or I get a paycheck. Even though that's good for the morale, I guess you could call it a moral. Once again, the things we actually enjoy are closer to moral victories than the idea of what a so-called moral victory really is. Because, like I said, is if I wake up, there's nothing moralistic about that. I either do or I don't. It's an actual real thing. If you wake up, it's right. What right. When we get up the next day, I speak life on us, but I have to be realistic. Right on. Anything can happen. I I guess these fools could push the red button while we all sleep. Right? I guess. Who am I to say that it can't happen? You know what I mean? Who am I to say that it can't happen? Who am I to be like, oh, that's impossible? It could have happened, I guess. Right. But so is it a moral victory that these guys haven't pressed the red button yet? And that's a serious question. Like, I want somebody to like elaborate. Do y'all think it's a moral victory that they haven't sent the earth into nuclear oblivion? Anybody? Is that a moral victory? Because for me, it's not. It's an actual thing they haven't done. Glad these fools haven't tried to microwave the earth. Right. But they want us to believe. They want us to believe that the idea of something that you can't see, can't feel, can't touch right then and there, that that's a moral victory mindset and that that's magical thinking. When, as opposed to saying that it's just as magical thinking that they believe that they're for sure going to live to see the next day. Undoubtedly, unquestionably. Like there's nothing that could happen to them that could possibly end their tenure on the earth, which is guaranteed to end one day, by the way, for every single person listening. We all know it. Anybody older than 13, 14 years old understands that. They get that. They're like, yep. Yep. Unfortunately, one day I got to push all my chips into the middle of the table, but it's going to be right. But right, I got to go all in. But it's okay though. It's all good. It happens to everybody. But they want us to believe that it's a moral victory just to wake up. That's, I mean, just how think about how wicked you have to be in your mind and in your heart to defy the Most High God, and then at the same time almost speak on the fact that you know it's the Most High God that keeps you alive just by insinuating that you'll be here tomorrow, that there is a tomorrow to look forward to. I only know about tomorrow because the Most High God told me what a day and what a night was. I only know that's the sun up there because it's written down in a book. I know that's the moon when it comes out because it's in a book. I know there's the stars because it's written in a book. I know that stuff called water because it's in a book. I know the stuff that they call the earth and the land because it's in a book. I know what these different animals are because it's in a book. These different produces because it's in a book. These different rare materials, right? And rare gems and precious stones because it's in a book. I understand concepts about life from a book. There's nothing moralistic about it. And I'm just sick and tired of people trying to act as if reading the Bible makes you some sort of out of touch with actuality and reality type of individual. If anything, you're way more in touch with what's going on because you can look at what's happening and with the objective, pragmatic point of view, you can come to some of the similar conclusions that anyone else would have came to at any other time. that we're getting closer to the end than we are to fixing what is the problem. These guys can keep thinking, oh, we need a check. We need a check. I need something tangible. Nigga, I told these niggas about tangible. Once again, we know that. We all know this. They didn't even know. They weren't even asking for $1 trillion at first. Now I got them. Now that's all they want is a trillion, or we need trillions. I still need a whole one. Ain't nothing changed. If they think I changed my stance on right, right, they can call that magical thinking all they want. That ain't nothing magical about that. I need $1 trillion worth of substance for the suffering. And all my brothers and sisters need their own trillion as well. Go ahead and bankrupt the earth. And everybody owes us for however long it's going to take to make it right. Can't do that, huh? Nope. Nope. And we're supposed to somehow go toe to toe with individuals who have nuclear armament, even if they gave you reparations, like I said. As a matter of fact, de facto, we would have to become a nuclear power like in that very moment. It's like, what good is the money if people can just come and take it from you, kill you and take it? Right. Right. What good is the gold or whatever? What good is the timber and the lumber if you can't build with it? What good is the iron ore, huh? And the steel, yeah, the titanium, right? What good is all that stuff if you can't use it to build with? It's no good, right? They'll take it from you. One guy with a fully automatic and a couple magazines and a couple drums is not enough to hold off the multitude of white dudes that all have fully automatic guns. This, that, the third. It's just not. Let's be realistic. Let's be actualistic. They're trying to get people killed, man. It's unfortunate that that I'm in the position that I'm in, and it's fortunate that I'm alive. It's just unfortunate that that the algorithm is built to suppress and not to express, because then the brothers and the sisters that really need to hear this would hear this shit and they would understand, like, he not tripping. Before I roll up out of here in the next couple minutes, just realize that they put us all in this precarious position because any kind of talk that sounds like you need yours, they're going to say, oh, that's black empowerment, huh? You're one of those black first guys, aren't you? It ain't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. Right. First off, I'm a me first kind of person. Right on. That's number one. Me first. Right. If we're gonna operate it like that, and then number one, and then number two, what's me got to do with the group if my interests are not their interest? Right. If they want to eat pork, but I don't want to eat pork, and I'm not gonna eat it. Right. Right. They can talk all the shit they want to about Reverend Pork Chop. Some of the people that are giving them money and donating to them and support them and love them. Eat swine chops and eat swine ribs and all that stuff weekly. Right on? Eat it on a regular. Some of them daily. Eat bacon every day with their meals, with their breakfast. And they 4, 5, 6 strips of bacon, 5, 6, 7, 8 links of sausage, right? Maybe even a slice of ham to go with it. Right. Glass of orange juice, glass of milk, glass of coffee, and a glass of water. Yeah. Ridiculous. But these are the kind of people that they got donating to them. And the same people that they backbite and speak spitefully about are the same people that are giving. I'm just like, the shit is coming to a head. Just kind of like how I called when they all splintered and broke off, when Yvette and Tariq and all those dudes all fell out. I remember I called it. They just blossomed and just fell apart. And I was like, I knew it. I called it before it even happened because they had different ideologies. Pretty soon, the people who are supporting them, sure, there's going to be some nefarious work from these federal agencies, but there's also just going to be people who are just like, you know what? I don't have to take that anymore. I don't have to support them. Right on. I'll support myself, or I'll support whatever it is that I want to support. I don't have to take that. Right. Right. There's people who don't come around here no more. They feel like they don't have to take that from me. That's okay. They don't. They're grown. They don't have to take that. But you know what, though? At the same time, you can't be mad when the things that I'm speaking on happen in any level, shape, or form in your life. You can't say, oh, he wished this on. I didn't wish it on you. I spoke these things because I knew I can see what's happening. If y'all own firearms and you ain't going to the range at least once a month, at least once a month, and using up a box of bullets, I know that shit's expensive. That's the whole point of you training, though. Training is expensive. Training is not cheap. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself a massive disservice. Okay? Because you need to know how to use that thing. If you own swords, right? Blades and whatnot, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And you don't practice with them from time to time, you know what I mean? Stuff like this. If you're not really putting it to the test, shame on you. Word? Shame, 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 shame on you. If you're not practicing with those hands and feet, shame on you. If you're not, man, if you don't got a set of resistance bands where you can sit on the couch and do isometrics and just sit there and then get up and do some squats and stuff, you don't got to do no push-ups but you got to be active, brothers and sisters. You got to be ready. Because when they try to come at you and they try to hit you, they're going to try to hit you hard and hit you fast and hit you where it hurts. There is no moral victory in waking up. This year has been a crazy ass year. Whatever you consider the year to be. I know the year don't end until April or March, late March, early April, but that's neither here nor there. As I sip on these last sips of wine ski with you and get ready to get on off this thing, I just say this, man. There's been more lost than gained. We lost more ground than we gained this year, people. Ah, man. That was delicious. My grown folks, I know y'all don't like to drink and this, that, and the other sometimes, but man, a glass of wine, a small, just little, just little pursuances like that. A small pursuance, meaning like, a small amount. You don't pursue a whole lot of it, you know. Man, a small pursuance of that, man, small purchase, right on. A large drop, whatever you want to say, right? Okay. But just something that, because I typically will sip on it, but shit, I need something that's to wet my beak. Tastes good. I need y'all to live your life. See, once again, that's a moral victory, I guess, right? Because it made me feel good, right? Once again, their moral victories do not exist. It is a make-believe concept. When my life is over, everything before it, I guess, will have been a moral victory. Right on. After that, it won't matter. It's all for naught, I guess. You see what I'm saying? Toil in vain, they say. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity, saith the preacher. Too bad that preacher was corrupt in the end of his days, but he ain't never lied, though. Right. They're doing all that stuff in vain. I'm not saying working out in vain or nothing like that. I'm talking about, but what they're trying to pursue is in vain because they don't even have the right mindset to go about it. And they're willing to get other people killed in the pursuance of I don't know what. Like the pursuit means no. I'm making my own words up. I like it. But it's better that way. You guys get what I'm saying. I'm saying what I want to say. I don't say what they want to say. I say what I like. They're not going to tell me how to think. They can't tell you how to think. Okay? They are not my thought leaders. All right? I'm nobody's thought leader. That's for damn sure. Okay? You think for yourself. You think for yourself, brothers and sisters. Don't nobody think for you. We're living in dangerous times. Pretty soon, thought crimes will be a thing. And those who are calling themselves thought leaders are going to have the most to answer for, unless, of course, they're actually agents and they're setting the people up for slaughter. Uh, it's about to get ugly. This year is going to look like a buck dance compared to next year. This year going to look like somebody cooning compared to next year. Next year is going to be off. Talking about as soon as we get through uh the part where everybody starts to cast their lots to run for the election and shit and all that. Oh, it's about to get stupid, dookie, doodoo, dumb. It's about to be all the way diarrhea. It's gonna be shitty. Trust me. All I can say is stay out the way. Stay out the way. Do your best to do your job and to do your best to enjoy yourself, to release and to decompress, but stay out of the way. I had a conversation with a guy at work the other day, and this is how we're gonna end it. I was talking to him and I was saying, I was like, you know what's crazy? I don't think it is their desire, brother. You're absolutely right, family. But I don't think that all those people stormed the Capitol. You know what I'm saying, if Trump doesn't have that impeachment, if they don't try to impeach Trump, I don't think they try to storm the Capitol. And I made a strong case. And I was like, it just seems to me that the people were fed up with how they treated the man's presidency as opposed to acting like he actually won the office fair and square. They tried to have him impeached on some other extra shit and went as far as to, say salacious things about him and to, you know what I mean, just to pretty much have his whole life, his personal shit put on blast. Really distasteful. I don't care who you do that to. That shit's distasteful. And yeah, I just don't believe that they stormed the Capitol like that. Having said that, because they did storm the Capitol, I just can't trust that those same individuals won't do something even more brazen and crazy this time. Right. Think about that. Yeah, it's those times, bro. It's we're in tumultuous, dangerous, crazy times, bro. You know, and I man, all I can do is speak life for my brothers, my sisters, my my warrior kin brothers, right on my. I know y'all ain't gonna let nobody hurt you. You bet not. But I'm just saying that it's gonna get dangerous out here, man. It's gonna get real questionable, and we'll see how many of these guys are riding black first. Uh, we'll see how many of them talking about something tangible for their vote. When guys are talking about if guys don't, we got to get to the point to where If niggas withhold their vote and somebody that white folks really don't want to win wins, do black people realize the kind of target that's gonna put on us? I'm not voting anyway. It don't matter. I'm like I ain't never voted for no presidents, so it don't matter. I voted one time on some local stuff, and like I said, it felt like it really didn't count. I don't know how else to say it. Like, sure, it counted, but it didn't count, and I'm not with that. I just want the people to be safe. Yeah, no, yeah, no, but see, yeah, I mean, Elijah was doing the most though, bro. He was doing the most, killing the priest. He was setting it off, bro. Okay, Elijah was like pulling up, doing drive-bys and rolling out, bro. Okay, he was setting it all the way off, bro. He had to lay low. So I'm like, you know, I'm saying they're gonna be looking at all of us a lot differently. They're gonna be looking at all of us way differently after this, man. Don't matter. Even if we vote the person that they like or want to win in, right? Or vote enough for them, we still lose. Either way. But who would you rather lose to? Would you rather lose to some dude you've never seen or the enemy that you know what they're capable of? I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Would you rather lose to a person you never seen who you support financially or the enemy that you know what they're capable of already? Man, I hope black people make the right decision. I'm not saying get out and vote and do nothing. I'm saying if you're gonna stay out the way, stay out the way. But don't be out there loudmouth and talking about B1 and all this other shit, because it's gonna get you hurt. It's gonna get you hurt. Doesn't matter if our ancestors built everything that people like, and that we're actually only enjoying what our ancestors created, like light bulbs and things like that. We are enjoying what people who look like us created. It's only right. Having said that, it doesn't mean that they feel the same way. Brother Wavy, hey man, be good. I salute the people, man. I really do. All I can say is this, family, before I roll out. We are about to be in the most crazy. It's going to be like the anti-vigilante year of the, not exactly bitch made, because some of the stuff is going to be understandable. It's going to be like, we're going to have people shooting dudes who were trying to shoot the dude who's trying to rob somebody. It's going to be a crazy year, y'all. May tomorrow be better than today. And may your next week be better than your last. My brothers, man, and all the sisters who's gonna catch the stuff too, man. I throw my hands up because y'all know, man. Y'all know I ain't never lie when I say it's crazy. I think Gwen Stefani said it really well. This shit is bananas. Bananas. She ain't never lied. Y'all. This is not a moral victory. Tomorrow when you get up, just know that was the greatest. It's the greatest moment ever, because it'll be the most current moment of your life. So when you rest your eyes and you do get up, because we believe that, and we know that the Most High God has set us aside for something great. We're just waiting for our moment to be called upon, so we can answer that call. We've already separated ourselves, but I'm talking about that official. Yeah, put the armor on. Right, the armor I'm about to lend to you right here that you didn't even know you had. We waiting. But until that moment gets here, and I know they think I'm crazy for saying it, but until that moment arrives, we just have to sit here and wait and do it the way that it's supposed to be done. We will not suffer moral victories ever again because they don't exist. They do not exist. This year was the craziest year I've seen in a long time, but next year will be even crazier. Love you, my brothers. I love my brothers and my sisters. I love all my people, but I love y'all, man. I know y'all is a busy gentleman, so don't let me hold you any longer. Peace.